time for a roundup of all the best bits about photography and creativity for you from season 4. Snippets from getting back into shooting and insight on what it means to be a creative entrepreneur. If you like the sound of one of these topics, just skip on over to the episode in full. Links to all of these episodes below in the show notes for you and throughout this roundup up here as well. It was great to squeeze a socially distant shoot in the schedule just before the second lockdown hit us here in the UK. Returning to support client Victoria Fleming from Buzztastic as she embarked upon an exciting new niche in her sales consultancy business. And here are the final images.
I love it. I really love it. And the fact that we did the photos on the green screen has meant that we've been able to do some really cool stuff with them on the website. One of the great things as well with the photography is being the way that it's really kind of like popping out of the screen as well. And that's really nice because I like to think that I pop out the screen a bit.
With that return to lockdown, I got into sharing more about the creative process I work to. In this episode back in April, I shared how you can use these methods to hit a creative jackpot in your business too. I split myself into 3 to explain this. Professional Laura, creative cat Laura, as well as my usual role of presenter Laura. So you're getting 3 Lauras. Let's take a look then at some common scenarios of what it can feel like when you're working with a creative. I don't really like that idea. I don't really want to explain why that is, that I don't like it either. I work alone, like a wolf in twilight. I'm not going to be able to join in with the rest of the team on Slack, and I'm not really going to be available to attend your group meetings. Sorry, will be late. Slept in. Be there ASAP. I hear what you're saying. I know what you said about the strategy, but coconuts are really hot right now. So why don't we just use this as the main creative muse instead? Okay, so some of those examples might have been exaggerated for your entertainment pleasure there, but I promise you that all of them are based on the truth. So that might be where I've worked alongside another creative, where we've shared a client, or it could be where I've hired a creative and I've been really disappointed with the service that I got as a result of it. And when you think about all of those examples together, it's really easy to see why there is this stereotype of what it's like to work with a creative professional who is this antisocial, unreliable nutcase. In fact, just last week, one of my colleagues said to me in a call together, "Hey, that's creatives for you. I always expect the deadline to be ignored." Oh, sorry, Laura, no offense. Now, if you're a creative supplier and you've just watched those silly roleplay examples and admitted to yourself that you might be guilty of 1 or 2 of them with your own behavior with your own clients, then you can take this as an official slap on the wrist from me. Ow. But stick around because I've got some tips for you in this episode as well. Let's get you stepping up and out and away from that awful stereotype as a creative supplier.
If I asked you to be really honest with me about where you rank your creative ideas, where would you place yourself? Have you ever even taken a beat to really think about this? You see, in a lot of cases, we only start to question our creativity when we are faced with some sort of urgency, a dilemma, a problem, a request. But it doesn't have to be this way. Sex it up! Let me help you navigate your own creative expertise. By following the steps laid out in my How to Sex Up Your Creative Playbook, you will be all set up to define what is a pretty average idea from the best idea of your career or even your whole life. You will be joined by fictional character Margot, the simple-minded 50s housewife. Margot's dilemma comes about when she learns she needs to create a dinner party that is deemed creative enough to help land her husband's next promotion. Dilemma: creativity. This playbook can be used time and time over to help you sex up your own creativity in an autonomous way. To find out more and download your own reusable copy of my How to Sex Up Your Creative Playbook, please visit www lauraperman.com/how-to-up-your-creativity-playbook.
As restrictions began to ease again, I loved being able to support client Michelle Lucarini with an increased sophistication to her brand for her operations consultancy business.
First stop today, coffee. First set done with that sort of background, and now we're doing some outfit changes and repeating it, and then we're going to move on to this white wall here next. You'd be surprised how much we've got out of this one little corner in Michelle. So we've had the big chair here, that's behind Rosie the reflector. Then we brought in the white chair, and now we've changed the setting a little bit through some bits and pieces, and Michelle's going to be sitting right there. That's the first bit over. What did you think, Michelle?
It was a nightmare. She thinks she's Francis Ford Coppola or something.
What a diva, eh? It's a wrap. Ultra quick preview here. You can see we've got 577 images. Oh my God. I'm going as fast as I can. Tons. She's got tons of images.
And here are her final images.
I just love my new website. You can see there's a lot of white space. It looks very clean and sophisticated. That's one of my big brand values, is about keeping it simple and telling it like it is. So there's not a lot of extra fluff and things to distract your eye. It's a really clean, sophisticated design, which is what we wanted to get across with the evolution of my brand and the target market that I'm going for. And just look how amazing my brand photography is. Laura did a fantastic job in really making sure the look and feel of my photography fits in with the new brand and the new website. If you'd like to come and see my new website for yourself, then head over here. It's www.michellelucarini.com.
Don't forget, if you're feeling ready to get your brand photography plans back into the schedule following lockdown restrictions, then you can find out how I approach all my shoots by visiting www.lauraperman.com/brand-photography. You might want to dive into more episodes of me out on brand photo shoots. To do that, you can head over to this playlist to see some of my best shoots with an array of incredible business owners. I'll see you next time. Mwah.